How many components have you written from scratch instead of generating this week? Outperform the others in your daily software developer job. I'm a full-stack software engineer with over 9 years of commercial experience focused on startups. Eliminated the pain points to make it even more effective. The biggest failure is that it doesn't know your code base. Copy-paste. I sync relevant project files to S3 buckets, a file tree with project files needed for the prompt. Quite complex for one prompt, but we need to make it precise, like a sniper shot. I'm writing the result files. So taking one file, mutation declared. I take the second file. What a brilliant implementation. It even matches the styling. Amazing, no longer limited with building. Shipping startup in days. Coding is dead. Will AI take my job? You probably heard it many times in 2025. The job market is collapsing, and that's the reality. You cannot ignore AI as a software developer. Just be honest with yourself. How much code have you written without the help of an AI this week? How many components have you written from scratch instead of generating? How many? The actual value of you as a developer has now rebalanced. That's the reality, and you need to view it as it is. Oh, you know how to create a React component? That's cute. AI does it in 5 seconds before you even think how to start. I don't need you anymore. Sorry. But that's not over. The potential, which is now unlocked for us, is thrilling. With this video, I want to encourage you not to sit and wait for being thrown out the IT market. The truth is you either adapt and learn how to code with the AI, or you lose, having deprecated skills no one needs. There are at least 2 reasons why you should start mastering coding with AI. I'll get to the second one at the later part of this video. Reason 1. Outperform the others in your daily software developer job. I'm a full-stack software engineer with over 9 years of commercial experience focused on startups. I started using LLMs from daily developer activities since it was released, and I can't stop doing it. What I want to share with you is that I identified and eliminated the pain points to make it even more effective. My process emerged from a ChatGPT prompting and reprompting to get the code I want. What annoys me when working with chats like ChatGPT, it keeps pointing to modules that don't exist. It doesn't know your directory structure. You always need either to reprompt or clean up the mess manually. It also doesn't know which dependencies and which versions you're running your project. You always need to correct him. It keeps forgetting what you prompted earlier, keeps enforcing his code patterns over and over again, keeps answering with pointless paragraphs and adds meaningless comments in code blocks. There's always a need to clean up the mess he provided. To sum it up, the biggest failure is that it doesn't know your code base. What do you usually do for feeding the chat with your code? Copy-paste? This is what I was doing. Alright, this is my workflow for coding with AI. I sync relevant project files to S3 bucket. Then I select the files which I know they are relevant for the prompt I will write. I select pre-saved set of prompts for selected tech stack. I can also add some extra prompts to be added on the top of every request, just not to have them repetitively rewritten. I also decide whether to include the chat context or just to run the pure fresh prompt. I describe what I want in my implementation, then I run it. I see the output, I then write new files, and I test it, see whether it works fine or not. If I am satisfied with the results, I sync the code again. If I am not, I just want to improve my prompt, add some extra files, add some extra prompts, decide whether to include chat contexts, and reiterate just to have the result I want. That's the process. That is the workflow. I find this workflow extremely effective. Now, I'm going to show you the tool I created for myself. It runs locally. I don't need for now to host it anywhere. So it's just for my use case. Here it is, super basic UI. And by the way, it was all generated with AI, based on my own boilerplate for Next.js, which I'm also gonna get back later in this video. You can see input elements from my workflow. There is an AWS S3 config for syncing in the code. There is a file tree with project files from S3 for selecting the files needed for the prompt. There is a token calculator based on the selected files, which will prevent the prompt from failing, because there is a limit, of course. And there is a conversation view with the options to include large Next.js predefined prompts and whether to include conversation context. So I control whether to refer the previous conversation or run pure fresh prompt. And on the right, there is a saved prompt section. For example, if I run a specific task and I don't want to write it over and over again, I can just include something on the top. And how does it work all together? I will show you with a Next.js project example. Why Next? It just solves 95% of my web app use cases. And it is the most popular, scalable, and supported technology for flexible use cases. So this is actually my Next.js boilerplate for creating SaaS apps. It's TypeScript Next.js with MongoDB GraphQL API. API is auto-generated. Models, CRUD operations are included based on model properties declarations, and all technical BS you not need to worry about in the era of AI. But what you need to know, this is properly configured from the start, and it is designed to work with AI super fast with almost no mistakes. We have Google out for out. It is Next out, so it can be whatever. I use Google as example. And we have a user with a to-do list assigned to the user stored in MongoDB. So here's the starting point. Quite rich as a starting point, but that's the point of boilerplating, just to not reinvent wheel every time. If you want to study my boilerplate code, I'm gonna give it to you for free for a limited time. Just go to this link or take it from the description below. Okay, so let's maybe come up with some clever example feature idea we wanna add to this. It is a to-do list. It is quite handy and basic, but let's challenge this a little bit. Let's make this a personal Jira board with the columns to do, in progress, and done. Let's make it. That's a handy use case to have it, a personal board, just to track personal issues and be a super efficient person. You think it sounds quite complex for one prompt, but trust me, it is gonna work this way exactly. But we need to make it precise, like a sniper shot. For that, I need a drag and drop library integration to make it work. Okay, let's search and see what we get. This one looks good. What I'm gonna do is to take this implementation and attach to the prompt. Now I go to the code and see what is the view and where I want it. In path, please implement 3-column view to do, in progress, done, with a drag and drop functionality using this library. What else? I've sent you a working example below, because I will copy and paste the code in the prompt. I need to tell to the model to take the bare minimum to achieve the functionality. So take from implementation the bare minimum to achieve the functionality. I will also tell to use the same versions of the libraries I will attach in package.json. Why? Because the implementation in Sandbox is based on this specific version. So with updates, some props change, some behaviors change, but I will point to this specific version. Please use the same versions of libraries as in the package.json. Do not declare any Apollo operations. Why I'm writing this? Because it is prompted the way to back up every action with Apollo. I will skip it for now. And I will tell him to place all items in the to-do column for now. And now I need to just copy and paste the code required for the implementation. Okay, what do we got? 2 files. And now I'm gonna write the result files. Of course I need to install dependencies as well. Let's rerun and see what we've got. And we have 3 columns now. Will it work? Let's see. Drag and drop works. That's exactly what I wanted. What a brilliant implementation. It looks good. It even matches the styling. Amazing. There is a not working add a cart button, but I don't care. I'm happy with what I got. Let's try if adding a new item still works. Brilliant, brilliant, amazing. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm just syncing my code to S3. Okay, now we have it synced. We gonna do a next feature iteration. Let's maybe make it harder. Drag and drop works. It's fine, but it's not saved. You see? Every time I refresh, it's not saved. Let's just make it persistent in our backend. Let's try to do it. Again, I will point to the file. Please make the item status persistent in the backend. MongoDB. Please declare a mutation to update the item status. Please add a new field in item model status of values to do in progress done. Please render the items in proper columns based on their state. Let's try it. Again, I'm writing the result files. Results, they look promising. I have an item updated. So taking one file, mutation declared. I take the second file. I see there is a query updated. Also taking that. And to-do list. And that should be it. That should be it. Let's see how it works. I have a change list. I just need to, I don't need to install any new dependencies. They are all included in the boilerplate. I just need to generate the hooks. So there's a command yarn GraphQL. But let's check if it's reflected. Okay, it is reflected. Amazing. Now I'm gonna deploy my changes on AWS Amplify. So just to try it live. As you see, there's a previous version of my project running online on my domain. As you can see, I have a lot of changes. I have a lot of new files, and it's all auto-generated without me even touching it. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna commit and push. Okay, and after 3 minutes, the changes are reflected. Let's try if we can interact with it as we did on local. And let's check if data is saved. It is saved. So I received the working application with the new functionality, which is live in a couple of minutes. Amazing. If you want to study my boilerplate code, I'm gonna give it to you for free for a limited time. Just go to this link or take it from the description below. As you just seen, this setup can be extremely powerful when you learn it. You can ship working functionalities very quick, which previously took days to implement. It was just out of range for an average developer, even above the average. Humans cannot produce software with this speed. It means that you're no longer limited with building. Do you want to just try it out? Wait to the end of this video, because here comes number 2. Why you should start mastering coding with AI. To learn the ultimate skill, which is shipping startup in days. As developers, we have the ultimate ability to solve repetitive problems with software. If you ever dreamed of having your own SaaS startup, there is no better time than now. If you spot a problem which you can solve with your app idea. What is the most important is to ship it fast, with the lowest possible effort, just to validate it as quick as possible. And now you are able to do it as a solo founder. I do it as well using my workflow. If you think this is what you need and you want to try this out, what I showed you in the video, there is no other way than me launching it live for you. If I get only 100 emails on my waitlist, I'm launching it fast. Here's the link. You can also find it in the description below. And plus, you get my super rich boilerplate for free. Limited offer. I created a lot of software with my tool already. And I also will show you how to do it in next videos. I'll show you exactly how to implement a solution to a given problem with software, with AI speed, and how to ship it fast. So please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment. Especially, what do you think of this solution? And what are your ways of coding with AI? That's all for today. Bye, and see you in next videos.